Thank you for joining us. I'm Donna DeMarco with Aunties Sewing Kits, and my husband Dan is behind the camera. We're doing block 9 of the Solare Block of the Month Club. The pattern's done by Bound To Be Quilting, and the fabric is done by Banyan Batiks. Isn't it just beautiful? I can't wait to put it all together because we're already on 9. We're so close. We can get it all put together soon. So let's get started on this one. So this is block 9. Isn't that beautiful? So block 9 has a lot of little blocks, but not a lot of fabric this time. And we are making 8 of them. So let's get started. We are going to start with putting fabric number 5 and fabric number 3 together. Now the fun thing about fabric 5 is back in block 5, I believe it was. I'm going to double check that in a minute. But we had pattern B. So pattern B is the exact same size as pattern K for this block. So you can reuse those if you've made them. So that was fun. I didn't have to make those, but we did have to make pattern J for this one. So with this one, we are going to take one of these, 5, and one of fabric 3, and we are going to make a little, if I can get one out here, they're all stuck together and they're so tiny. We are going to make a box. So we're going to put this one like this, and we're going to put this one like this, and it's going to make a nice square. So when we do that, we are going to sew one side on, and then we're going to fold it over. With this pattern, take a little extra time and finger press this one, because these are so tiny that if you get any shape off of here, it's just going to make things wonky. So finger press it and then press it really good with steam to hold it down. Then we are going to sew on the other side after we've pressed this side open, and that's going to give us this. And we're going to make quite a few of them. So just chain the whole side, then do that one and chain that whole side. Alright, so then we've got that piece. Let me move this out of the way. And we will then put that on the bottom. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to sew these long strips. Now this strip was a whole lot longer. I have cut it down a little bit some. They were this long. So, oops, nope, it's still longer. Okay, so we've got these strips that we've cut, and we're going to put them together. So it's fabric 3 and fabric 4. So this fabric 4 and this is fabric 3. We're going to sew those strips together, and again, you want to finger press because this is a very long strip and you don't want it to go wonky. And then what we're going to do is, I started cutting from this side. We are going to cut, this should be a certain measurement, and it'll tell you what the measurement is, and I measured to make sure. Then we're going to cut every 2 inches off here, and that's going to give us these little guys. So we got those little guys. Then we're going to take them, we're going to sew them together. So of course we want to iron to the dark side because, you know, later when the quilt's made, we don't want that dark fabric showing through the light. But also that gives us that nice little point, and what we can do is sandwich that in and make it nice and tight. Can you see that there? Because that's going to give us these nice crisp, see how all these points line up? It's because that all lined up right here, just like that. That's going to make all those line up. So then what you're going to do is you're going to sew them together just like that, like I showed you, and we're going to get these little blocks here. And I've got 3 of them done here. So we have all of these little tiny blocks, and they have certain measurements too. And it tells you in the book what it should be when it's done, because it's kind of tricky with all these little parts. So then the next thing we're going to do after we've sewn these together is we're going to sew this. So this is fabric 2 and fabric 3. So we got fabric 2 and we've got fabric 3. You're just going to take and put a line diagonally, and then maybe this side's easier to see. Yeah. Then on each side of that line, you're going to sew a 1/4 inch. I have a 1/4 inch foot, so what I did, I know you can't see the stitching on this side very well, but I put the 1/4 inch foot right on this line, and then that just kept me straight all the way down, and I didn't need to put tape or anything on my thing to get it a nice, good one there. And then when you cut it apart, because after you sew it, iron it, just to make sure all those threads get relaxed and everything. Then we're going to cut right on this line here, which is going to give us 2 pieces that look like this. Move these out of the way. So then we have 2 pieces that look like this. Then I'm going to iron it open again to the dark side. And then we have a nice flush flat piece. And that is actually this piece right here in the corner. Yeah, this piece. Okay, now that we have that, then we're going to move on to, maybe if I can get it open, then we're going to actually start assembling. So it takes quite a bit of time because we're doing 8 blocks and we have to sew all these little teeny pieces together. But, I mean, it's a pretty easy pattern and it goes together quite quickly. So we are going to do the top part here. What we're going to do is we're going to take one of these, and I'm going to be upside down for just a second because it's right side up for me, and then I'll turn it around, but this is right side up for you. So this is going to go here, and this one is going to go here. Actually, I think I'm going to move this aside. Oh, well, no. Yeah, this isn't big enough. Let me scooch that aside and I'll do it on here. Alright, so we'll put that up front so we can all see. And now we've got this one here. And be mindful of which way these go too, because this orange square needs to be here. This needs to be pointing down. And then we are going to take fabric 3. And we're going to put a fabric 3 here. So fabric 3 goes there. So we got those. And then the middle portion is going to be 2 of these. And we are going to go inward this time. That's going to go inward. And then the middle one is going to be one of these. And again, make sure that's going this way. And then this one is going to go in. So all the points are going to point in. Then we're going to take and put this one in the corner, and it's going to go down like this. And then this side is going to get another one of these with this in the corner. So then what we're going to do is we're going to sew this piece onto this piece. I'm going to take it, and I iron it flat so I can make sure when I'm putting on this one it goes straight across. You can sew this on and then sew this on and take it to the iron. But you know, getting up and doing that little extra step, it helps me. You can do it or skip it, but I do this, iron. Alright, so before we start showing you how to sew this together the rest of the way, I'm going to take this. This actually goes like this. And then I'm going to turn it around so it's not upside down. So that's going to put it all together there. Now I'll work with this upside down. I just needed to put it down. It's easier for me to see it right side up. But so we're going to sew this piece together, iron, this piece together, iron, so on. And we're going to make sure that these seams go opposite directions because you want to smash those together so we can get this nice look here. And then once that's done, we'll flip this up, sew it down, making sure that this seam is nested. And then we're going to do the same here and making sure that seam is nested. And then we have our block. So it's a pretty simple pattern, but it does take a little time to cut all these out, and there's 8 of them. So yeah, we have 8 blocks here. So it does take a little time to get it all sewed together, but it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward, so you shouldn't have much problems with this one. Well, thank you for joining us. If you liked this, please give us a like and a thumbs up and ring our bell, and then you'll know when the next tutorial comes out, because next month we will have block 10 coming out. And also we have this magnificent moose here. That is the actual name of the pattern. So if you like the magnificent moose, there is still quilt kits left on AuntiesSewingKits.com. Come take a look, check it out. He is extremely magnificent. We live in Alaska, and yeah, we see these guys all the time, and I never get enough of it. They're so beautiful. I also like the way these little X patterns are. That's kind of unique, and I like it. Gives a little bit of a wow factor. Well, I'm Donna DeMarco, and my husband Dan is behind the camera. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate all our viewers, and please put some comments down there. We'll be more than happy to answer them for you. And we will get back to you next month with block 10.